What's good, y'all? We at the second down. We got Tim, we got Mike, we got Dula, Josh, James. Let's go.
All right, fellas. This is a two-part question. First one we're gonna do is the NFC side. Being that the Panthers have the best record in the playoffs coming up, which team you feel going in they have to worry about the most? I think Seattle.
Honestly, if this was a Scantron question, you go straight to E, all the above. There are a lot of good teams in the NFC. You got the Seahawks, you got the Cardinals. Actually, I'm just gonna stop at Seahawks and Cardinals. I think those are the. I think the NFC West poses the biggest threat. Whoever wins the NFC South, well, they win it, so you don't got to worry about them. You do got to worry about the Giants because look. You just need one good defensive game, and like we just talked about in the last quarter, Odell Beckham gonna get his. So even in the playoffs, the Giants can be a threat. And it's not all the above. It's choice D, A, B, and C. Because let's get one thing straight. The Packers suck. I don't care who you are. If you love cheese, the Packers suck. They're not good. Eddie Lacy's been a fat ass. I always said he was.
We're 9-4, Michael.
I'm just saying, like, the Packers are probably gonna have that same playoff game where they were all crying on the sidelines. It's not gonna work out for the Packers. But every other team, they're a real threat to the Panthers, and they know it.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'll kind of give the same analysis going through the divisions. I mean, if you look at the North, I think the Packers are a one-and-done team. I think the Vikings will make it as a wild card. I'm not high on them either. I think Teddy Bridgewater is overrated. And then you look at, the East. I'm still convinced Washington's going to win that division. I really am. Okay. And if they do, all right, you can cross them off too. So it comes down to Seattle or Arizona. I think Ric Flair once said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Woo! You're talking about a team that, they've gone to 2 Super Bowls. They won 1. I mean, and they're catching fire right now. I like Arizona. I like that passing game. I do not like Carson Palmer staying healthy through the duration of the playoffs. So I'd go with Seattle.
So you didn't mention Carolina though.
No, Carolina is the team to beat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what he said. I didn't hear that part. Okay. Yeah. As far as for me, I discount the East. Even my own Giants, like I don't really believe in them doing anything. The defense is that bad. The cupboard is bare on defense, so I'm scratching out the NFC East. NFC North, I don't believe in Green Bay. Like you said, I believe also that Teddy Bridgewater is overrated. I mean, the guy is just like, when it comes to passing the ball, he needs more work.
Not to cut you off, but he's thrown only 9 touchdowns this season and thrown 8 picks. And this is a guy who started every game this season. That's bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very bad. And as far as the NFC West, my head is telling me what I'm looking at with Arizona, that is the team to beat out of the West. But experience and looking at the way Seattle's playing right now, I'll probably give the edge to them as well. And I don't want to sleep on Carolina, even though it doesn't look pretty. I know the Giants played that way for some years during their championship runs. It never looks pretty, but it yields results. So I can't discount them either. So ultimately, I think in the NFC, it's going to come down to Arizona and Carolina, probably.
All right. Well, it is. I feel that Seattle right now is the best team in the playoffs right now, even over Carolina. I don't like Carolina the way they joke around too much. That's Cam Newton style, but you got to understand, people have scored points on this team, and it's not like you can't score on them. Seattle was very hard to score on, and they never took it as a joke. I mean, dabbing 2 minutes when there's 2 minutes left in the game, listen, be fortunate you here and scratch them off. Next team, just like Seattle did. They took care of business, and they did 2 years in a row. So I give the edge to Seattle. I don't like the Cardinals because, first of all, I don't like the quarterback at all. I don't like their running game situation. When Fitzgerald at 35 years old is your best wide receiver, that's horrible. That's disgusting. Michael Floyd to me is a bust, and John Brown shows up when he want to show up. And their defense ain't the same without Tabo. It's not the same. Beating Minnesota, I'm not impressed with that. Minnesota scored points with Adrian Peterson alone. You're not doing much for me. When it comes down to the NFC East, I'm going to stand correct, and I'm going to say if the Giants get in the playoffs, again, Eli Manning has the most experience. It doesn't faze him. And when you got Odell Beckham Jr. being this hot, all it takes is to have all you need to do is get up 2 scores. Once you get up 2 scores, you're going to change the other team's way of playing offense. Let's keep it real. Does Carolina get anybody who can score points right away? No, they don't. All you got is Olsen. Okay, does the Cardinals do? They do, but they're not consistent. Seattle is a surprise because now they started doing it. We haven't seen Seattle throw the ball like the way they've been doing. So, but is anybody better than Odell Beckham Jr. if he was in the playoffs? No. And you got Hakeem Nicks, you got other guys who can be a factor because they've been there before. So you got experience over there. If you go with the Redskins, not so much. You go with the Eagles, not so much. If you go with my Cowboys, if holy water is blessed on Romo's shoulder and he does his thing, my Cowboys will do their thing in the playoff because they got the talent. It's there. That's if. Anything can happen. So, but Seattle's locked in. I got Seattle. They're locked in. I got Seattle.
Who you got, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, the Panthers, I'm not trying to hate on them because it is hard to go undefeated in the NFL. But if we're all being realists, they had 6 games against the NFC South and 4 games against the NFC East. So I think we would all hope they would have somewhat of a record to this, where they're at right now.
Yeah.
Their 13-0 is impressive, but at the same time, you don't view it as a sound and a very intimidating 13-0. You feel like there's still flaws that teams aren't hitting that they can capitalize on, and that's the scary part about. I don't have faith in the Panthers doing much in the playoffs if they get there. I can see a win, but after that, I don't know how far they can go. My faith, and if I had a horse in this race, I'd put all my money on the Cardinals. Just what they've done this year alone, they took Chris Johnson and made him a number 1 running back again. That's impressive to do when you're taking a guy pretty much off the street, plugging him back into the league, and having him go for 800 yards before his injury. And now you got someone like David Johnson stepping on, and they don't even look like they're missing a beat right now. That's a testament to the team and the coaching staff, and I think Bruce is going to carry. I think they're going to the Super Bowl, honestly. I'm sure you guys are getting sick of me saying that because I've been saying it for 3-4 weeks now. So I honestly don't think anyone can get past Arizona in the playoffs. The only other person or team, like you guys have mentioned, is Seattle. Once they get there, they obviously have the firepower and the history, and they know what to do once they get to that point in the stage. So it's going to be between Carolina and Seattle, in my opinion. It's the bird game in the NFC.
Yeah. You guys know what to do unless they got the ball on the 1 yard line with 2 minutes left. They don't.
Because
you guys, I guess it's time to go on to the AFC. For a second, I just realized it's snowing. What's going on?
Yeah.
Around the horn today, they had all the panels, they got all the decals and everything. Why can't we be like that? So
Christmas tree.
Exactly. I'm trying to be a little festive. I don't know if we're going to be around next week. It's the night before Christmas Eve.
AFC team.
AFC side.
We'll rock with it if I could be Bomani Jones. That's all I'll say.
I'm Woody Page. Let me get my chalkboard.
And color your teeth too. You Woody Page. like gold open his mouth.
Oh, man.
AFC side. The Patriots, they have the best record, but you know what? I like the Jets. I like the Jets all the way, and I've said this from the beginning of the season. Well, I just said Miami, but I just said the Jets afterwards. I like the Jets for a reason because they have balance, offense and defense. The Bengals, we just learned that Dalton's out 4 to 6 weeks, so he might miss the whole playoffs. Then you go with Roethlisberger, he's not healthy, and we got Osweiler. This is the easiest playoff on the AFC side Brady's gonna have, aside from the Jets. You're gonna have 3 new quarterbacks up in there, and I'm sorry if the Chiefs make it. If they make it, they barely pass the ball. So it's like I have to go with the Jets as a clear-cut favorite.
Here's my thing. This is ungodly unfair. I mean, yes, we were just talking about this before the show started. The Patriots don't have the injury bug. They have an injury virus. They have an injury STI that's not going away with amoxicillin. They got a bunch of injuries. But what's ridiculous, because I guess it's the perfect gene that is Tom Brady. Heaven would make everybody else have the same injuries. Like, how are you going to have the quarterback of the leading team try to tackle somebody on an interception and break his thumb like a freaking idiot? Like, only Tom Terrific would get that. The only team that could run with them, that could pretty much blow them out the water in points, might not even make the playoffs with Steelers, because who knows, they might lose to Denver and just be out of it. And 2, even though Brock Osweiler is better than Peyton Manning, he's not that much better. 45% of his drives are 3 and outs. Like, they're not even that good. So, like, this is mind-blowing that the road is this open. And I guess by process of elimination, I think that Jets will be the only one that can challenge them. But you know what? At the end of the day, Ryan Fitzpatrick is Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Hold up there. Relax. Hold on.
No, you know why? Because you know what? You can ball hard in the season, but when William Belichick takes a look at what you like to do in a playoff game, trust me, William will have him looking like he's back in Harvard. So I was just saying,
I don't know.
It's a little too easy to see it for them boys in New England, man. I'd pop that champagne if I was them. They go to the Super Bowl.
All right. I'm gonna pick someone whose team that's not. It's been mentioned actually. I like Kansas City. I like Kansas City because in the playoffs you got to do 2 things. You got to be able to run the ball and play defense. That's 2 things they're very, very good at. Even without Jamal Charles, what's that guy's name? Smith. Yeah, the guy who has like 50 letters in his first name. Like, come on. Like, you know, they run the ball well. They're playing pretty stingy defense. You're talking about, I think they're giving up the 2nd or 3rd most points in the NFL right now.
Right.
It's major. When you're basically going to be playing on the road, pretty cold climates. You got to do both. If you look at Alex Smith's numbers, I mean, you're talking about a guy who's only thrown 4 picks. So yeah, they don't throw the ball a lot. But I think, what's the stat? He's thrown 300 some odd passes and hasn't thrown a pick yet. So you know you have an efficient offense with a pretty stingy defense. That's the formula for success in the playoffs. Denver is a close second because they've slayed the beast known as the Patriots. But I'm not sold on Brock Osweiler in the playoffs quite yet. I'm sold on the completeness of the Kansas City team and the coach. Andy Reid's been there.
Yeah, I don't. KC had that. Matter of fact, the defense was even better last year. Was not last. Did they miss the playoffs last year? They missed it last year, right?
Yeah.
The year before. Alex's first year, their defense was even better, and they had that same formula in place. I'm not sold on him because Alex Smith. If you get like Tim said, if you get up on that defense, and you know Houston may be out for the rest of the season, right?
Right.
That Pat Wright. So
right, yeah.
And that's another important piece that could be missing in the playoffs. But if you get up on Kansas City, and it's possible, because that secondary is still a little shaky. If you get up on KC a couple touchdowns in the playoffs, it's going to change the way they play the game. And then you're going to ask Alex Smith to get out of his comfort zone, and that's never good. So I'm not sold on him mainly because of Alex Smith. You know what I mean? In the AFC, the team that like the way Mike said it, he broke it down perfectly. That has the clear road is and they have people coming back from injury. The clear road for the Patriots. They have their ticket written to go to the Super Bowl. So to me that's the best team in the AFC still. Even if Dalton was healthy, because I don't trust Dalton either.
Yeah, that's the thing with I agree with you guys. Like Cooper, the thing that's holding me back with the Chiefs is the whole Alex Smith thing. He had a great defense and a running game back in 11 with San Fran, and he did great against New Orleans. But New Orleans, they've had the same type of defense for 4 years now, so you can't really give him too much props for what he does. And I understand where you're coming from with the whole low number INTs, but I don't like that stat per se because it's kind of like an inflated stat in Alex Smith's favor because his 340 passing attempts is not the same as Aaron Rodgers' 340 passing attempts.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex Smith is the check down slant king in the NFL. I don't think out of those 340 passes, I'd be surprised if 25 of those went over 20 yards. In the AFC, to be honest with you, the only threat that I see to New England, even if they field or can only field 10 players on offense and defense, I still give them the benefit of the doubt to do better than most teams besides the Broncos. And that's if the Broncos stop messing around with this Brock doofus and put Peyton back in. I don't know. I'm not trusting Brock. The way he looked against the Raiders, how do you hold on to the ball for 5 seconds? How many hits from Khalil Mack do you need as a reminder that you need to get rid of the damn ball or have an internal clock of some sort? That's ridiculous, man. That is horrible how long he was holding on to the ball.
You need 5 hits before you realize you don't like it.
Holy. What? 5 seconds he was holding on to the ball.
Anyway, guys, last words. We're almost out of time.
So, I mean, it's funny. No one's mentioned the AFC South as a viable contender.
Because they're not.
Right now, I think in the driver's seat.
Hold on.
Prediction.
How about this?
I think Jacksonville wins that division.
I think Pittsburgh's offense can carry them. If they can keep a shootout going, Pittsburgh could be a surprise in the playoffs.
I'm going to flip right now.
If they make it.
Hold on.
Right, exactly. But their offense is going to carry them.
I got tails. I'm going to agree with D. I like Jacksonville.
On that note, we're moving on to the final down the picks, y'all. We'll be right back.